tonight. What do you think just kind of limited them, not really able to get anything, string at bats together till late in the game?
Um, yeah, I thought we had an early opportunity in that first situational at bat versus Nola, and then they, after 2 innings, they went to Ranger. Tommy leads off that, gets that first homer, and then after that, I just felt that we just couldn't put anything together versus Ranger. The cutter, the sinker, the changeup mix, and just obviously really didn't threaten in any capacity. And he threw the ball well tonight.
Next question. We go to Fabian on the right against the wall.
Yeah, Dave, obviously you guys have done a really good job pitching against Schwarber coming into this game in this series. What is sort of the danger of sort of allowing him to get hot, especially with the game last night?
Yeah, I mean, you make mistakes, you pitch behind. That's what's going to happen. You get 2-0, you try to go fastball away, gets to the big part of the plate, home run, and then, Clayton, I think, tried to go away and then missed middle or, middle up close to him, and it's another homer. So you got to make pitches against those guys. And, they start getting some results and they start feeling good. So, no, we got to make pitches and work ahead.
Okay, Bill, over in the back on the right.
Dave, is it still Tyler tomorrow?
Yeah, Glass will go tomorrow.
And given it's been a while since he started, what do you expect reasonably from him?
I think he's just full go. It was nice to get him in there in Philly. But as far as kind of his buildup, I think it's just a normal start, but we'll just kind of read and react and see how he's throwing the baseball.
Okay, next question. We're going to go Jack on the left.
Well, why do you think Shohei struggled at the plate so much this series? And is part of it just the number of lefties he's seeing and the kind of looks he's getting there?
I think the lefties is part of it. But I just think that his plate, his decision making hasn't been good. You can see, it's balls in off, and he's really not giving himself a chance to, hit a mistake. I just think that he's in between a little bit, but the swing decisions are just not where they need to be right now. That's kind of what I see, swing decision making.
And then you guys used a lot of the relievers tonight. Tanner Scott wasn't one of them. Is he an option for you right now?
No, Tanner was he was not at the ballpark today. There was something going on personal, so and it'll come out later. But he was completely unavailable.
Okay, anything else? Go right here, second row.
Dave, it was Clayton's first time out of the bullpen in the postseason since, I believe, 2019. What did you see out of him in this stuff?
Yeah, it was just, in the postseason. He just didn't have a great slider tonight. Then I think, Clayton pitched off his slider. And, so when the slider's not there, depthy, teethy, and then the fastball command, he was working behind too. So, that just the command wasn't there tonight.
Okay, Carrie?
Dave, how much easier is it to flush this one when you have the knowledge of having Tyler on the mound tomorrow and what you have in reserve behind him?
Oh, it is. It's pretty close to being flushed already. I think if you could look back at this going in this series and said we're up 2-1, we'd have banked it with Glass going. So I feel good with where we're at. Would have loved to have gotten Durant in the game tonight, but I feel good with where we're at, and it's certainly
attended to Pumpo yesterday. Giannis responded to the report by reaffirming his commitment to Milwaukee. Here's what he had to say. I think I've communicate with my teammates, communicate with the people that I respect and love that the moment that I step in on this court or in this facility, I wear this jersey, The rest does not matter. I'm locked into whatever I have in front of me. Knife in 6-7 months, I changed my mind. I think that's human too. You're allowed to make any decision you want, but I'm locked in. I'm locked into this team. I'm locked into these guys, to this group, and to my coaching staff, and to myself. All right. And we welcome in Brian Windhorst to the show. Great to see you, Wendy. How long do you think Giannis stays in Milwaukee? He just gave you the answer to that question. And he said 6 or 7 months. He didn't just pull that number out of thin air. He thought very carefully about how long it was until the end of the season. And what he basically said there is, I'm going to give it another evaluation at the end of the season. And look, Giannis said yesterday what he had to say. He's starting the season with the Milwaukee Bucks. He made that decision over the summer. Doc Rivers had some comments yesterday. Doc said what he had to say, which is that they've got to focus on this season. But you didn't see a denial from either of them. The Knicks and the Bucks certainly talked in August, and I'm going to say if you look at the big picture, it's a little bit disconcerting if I'm the Bucks that I made this crazy maneuver in July waiving Dame Lillard and then signing Miles Turner. Both of them $100 million maneuvers, and then in August Giannis said, hey, what about the Knicks? That's not necessarily a good sign. If Giannis truly wanted to get traded, he probably would have approached the Bucks in June, and he would have done some maneuvers that made it clear that's what he wanted. But it is very clear to the whole league that Giannis's situation in Milwaukee is probably short-term. Stephen A., could they surprise the league this year and have a great run of the Eastern Conference? I've seen stranger things. The Eastern Conference is not particularly strong, and that's why Giannis is leaving the door open. While everybody's being respectful, the league is preparing for the end of Giannis's tenure in Milwaukee. That's not an insult. That's just a reality. And you can hear by Giannis's own words and actions. He's thinking about it in the back of his mind, too. Well, first of all, a couple things that let's get out the way. New York Knicks going to the finals. New York Knicks going to the finals with I don't know if you heard me say that. I believe the New York Knicks are going to the finals. Now, it is by default, no doubt about it. Jason Tatum with the torn Achilles. Damian Lillard, torn Achilles. And now he's no longer in Milwaukee with Giannis. He's in Portland. Tyrese Halliburton. He's got the torn Achilles. I get it. There's a lot of things that happened. But damn it, that ain't my problem. New York Knicks going to the finals. Let me get that out the way. Secondly, if you're the New York Knicks and you had an opportunity to get Giannis at the tempo, I don't give a damn what you have to give up. The cheerleaders, the security personnel, the concession work. I don't give a damn what you got to do. If you could get Giannis to the Garden, that would have been spectacular. And I know that that's something that the New York Knicks believe they have a chance of pulling off. Here's my problem. The New York Knicks messed up. And this is where the Mule Bridges name comes into the equation. For those of you out there who don't know your basketball, Mikal Bridges can play. He is not a scrub, okay? He can play the game of basketball. And oh, by the way, he's a very reliable asset in terms of showing up to work each and every single day. Okay. Even though he has some complaints about Tom Thibodeau, the now former coach, running him into the ground, running the starters into the ground, but Mule Bridges is no all-star. And not only do the New York Knicks paid him and then rewarded him with $150 million extension, which I believe in today's NBA economy, he deserved. By the way, the $150 million is not an issue for me, Wendy. The issue has been, is, and will always remain unless the New York Knicks win a championship with him as a pivotal component to that aspirational goal. You gave up 5 first-round picks for him too much. So when you're talking about acquiring somebody like Giannis Antetokounmpo, it's not just about a Karl Anthony Towns going out the door, Mule Bridges, or an Anabai, or somebody like that. Milwaukee would want draft capital. You don't lose a Giannis Antetokounmpo for nothing. You don't do that. You can't let him walk out the door and get nothing in return for that level of greatness. Who's averaged 30 and 11 over the last 3 years, who's averaged at least 28 and 11 over the last 6 years. He's Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the top 5 players on the planet Earth. This is who he is. And if you have an opportunity to get him, you have to explore it. You have to pursue it. And you have to pursue it with rigor. And the belief is that that's a place he would want to be. Not Los Angeles, okay? It would be New York, maybe even Boston, but definitely New York. So, I appreciate Giannis, who's a real one, who's not a phony, who doesn't double talk. He doesn't do anything. He's being very authentic. He's looking at a Milwaukee Bucks squad, and he's saying this is an organization that drafted me, that believed in me, that has been very good to me, that helped, that helped me capture championship because they got me the assets that I needed in the past. But since that time, I've gone to a semifinals, and other than that, I've been bounced out of the postseason, at least 2 times, 3 times. So that's what he's faced with now, and looking at what they're going to be able to do. A Cole Anthony is there, Miles Turner is there, a Kevin Porter Jr. is there, stuff like that. That's not going to win you championships. So he's looking at the Milwaukee Bucks and saying, are you really going to be able to get anybody here for me? Because if they could, Giannis wouldn't be thinking about leaving. He's thinking about leaving because he doesn't believe organizationally that they're going to be able to supply him with the requisite parts for him to definitively compete for a championship. And that's where the trepidation is. You're exactly right, Stephen. Actions over words. He watched their summer of moves as sort of out of the box as they were. And in August, here he is trying to get traded to the Knicks. That's the actions. And I actually think that the Knicks are in decent position here. And let me tell you why. Because the Bucks do not control their draft for the next 5 years. They're still paying off the debt from building that championship team and those championship contend.